Okay, so it's been a while since I've unboxed the Apple Magic Mouse 2. As you can see, the box for it is... As you can see, I got this box right here, which contained this thing, the Apple Magic Mouse 2 Space Gray. I unboxed this about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. When did I get this? Oh, August 31st, right. First of all, the battery on this has not died yet, so great. But anywho, this is everyone seems to hate this mouse, and I really can't figure out why, other than just a couple other reasons that I might get to today. So I'm going to defend the Magic Mouse as much as everyone hates it, but I'm gonna tell you why this is a great mouse and why you hate it. So first of all, let's get that charging thing out of the way. So battery, it has not died on me yet. I unboxed this with about 70% battery, and it's already been a month and a half, and I use this thing a lot. Ever since I switched to my MacBook Pro, and considering my MacBook Pro cannot hook up to this mouse here that I have with my iMac wirelessly, I have to use the dongle with this mouse if I want to hook this up to my MacBook Pro. It is so nice that I can use this thing without a dongle in my MacBook Pro. This is the only wireless mouse I can get to connect to that MacBook Pro. Because of that, I've been using this mostly with my MacBook Pro, and obviously MacBooks have trackpads. Despite that, yeah, my Mac had a trackpad and it's obviously exposed to me at any given time. I've mostly been using this with it. I've been carrying this with me everywhere, even when I just need to pull out my Mac and quickly check my email or do something. I've been using this thing a lot, especially for editing. So despite my heavy usage with this mouse, and it's been 1.5 months, and I got this thing unboxed at 70% battery. What are we at? Where are we even at with battery? We're at 16% battery left. I'll say I might be able to make it to the end of the month with this thing before I ever have to charge it. And yeah, charging it's dumb. I really do not like the position of that because that means I can't use this. Due to the fact that this thing has already lasted 1.5 months and I haven't had to charge it yet, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. All I have to do is, when the battery does get low, just plug it in overnight and unplug it, and I'm ready for the next day of use. And I'm ready for the next 2 months of use. Despite that, yeah, it's not convenient and it's kind of dumb. I at least don't have to do it that frequently. Be thankful of that. No complaints here. It's not as long as this guy. I've got this guy to go at least 6 months at a time. But this does not exactly have what this thing has, which is a trackpad. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but obviously most people tend to hold a mouse like this one kind of like this. They have their hand resting on top of it. That's how most people generally hold and use a mouse. That's what everyone's used to because that's how you grew up using a mouse. But as I noticed, because you use a mouse that way, if you were to switch to a Mac or an iMac, for example, because an iMac includes this mouse, well, because your natural reaction is rest your hand on top of it, well, duh, it's going to be uncomfortable. I mean, the edges are kind of sharp and pointy. It's so flat to the ground, like the palm of my hand is dragging against the table if I try to use the mouse this way. And you're covering up the trackpad, so you can't really do any scrolling. It's obviously not comfortable if you use it that way. So how are you supposed to hold this? Let's pretend my hand is a flat surface. I'm going to pick it up the way so everyone holds a mouse this way. Here's how you hold the Magic Mouse. Act as if you're trying to pick it up and have your pointer finger, index, whatever it is, resting on top of the trackpad. That is how you hold a Magic Mouse. If you have constantly been complaining that this is uncomfortable to use, you're holding it wrong. Just letting you know. And is even holding it like this uncomfortable to use? Honestly, no, not that much. Because I've used this thing for hours at a time and I haven't noticed any discomfort. So the comfort issue, yeah, you're just holding it wrong. Alright, that's defended. So what about the lack of a scroll wheel? Because I don't understand why, but when it comes to this or the Logitech MX Master, that's usually the editor's other choice. The biggest reason why people pick the MX Master, for example, is because, well, you have a special scroll wheel so you can scroll sideways, which is really nice. Here's the thing, that's not exactly as convenient as you'd think. Sure, having a scroll wheel is really nice, but it locks you in 2 directions. So for most mice out there with the regular standard scroll wheel, it's up and down. Those are the only 2 directions you can go. Okay, with the MX Master, you can go sideways, so you are adding an extra access, but that locks you to 4 ways of scrolling. With this thing, you're unlocked to unlimited ways of scrolling because, well, a trackpad essentially allows you to have unlimited axes. Okay, you don't get a Z one. The point is, you can scroll much more fluidly like you're using a trackpad on a laptop. MX Master, sure, it's got 2 scroll wheels, which is nice. This thing has better directional scrolling. I'm gonna take this over the MX Master. Also, it allows for gestures. Example, mission control. I don't have anything up, so it's not displaying anything, but double tap it with 2 fingers, you get mission control. There's other gestures you can use, like zooming, though it's not the pinching, as I discovered. Yeah, Apple, could you redesign it so that way you can pinch to zoom on the Magic Mouse? That would actually be really nice. I'm not joking. That would be really nice and practical. Apple, please do that. So despite that, no, it's not pinch to zoom. It's really tapping a single finger on the top, not actually clicking it. That's what actually gets it to zoom. And to be honest, I haven't used right click at all. I mean, I've turned it on just for demonstrations in the unboxing, but I actually turned off right click and I don't miss it. I never really use right click anymore. The handful of times where I needed it in Discord just so I can have everything marked as red, because the only way you can mark something as red in Discord on the desktop is if you right click it. I just control click it. I really don't care about losing the right click. And you can re-enable it through the settings, but I don't use it. Though PC, yeah, PC kind of needs a right click because you can barely do anything with it. Despite that, everyone really hates this uncomfortable, simple, non-functional design. I guess, A, you don't realize that, first of all, the trackpad actually goes as far down as the Apple logo on this thing. So out of all mice with trackpads, there are other mice with trackpads. This has the biggest trackpad on the mouse. With that big of a trackpad and range of motion, gestures, quite amazing battery life for this type of mouse, to be honest, and simplistic and pretty design, why do you hate this? The uncomfortable part, you're just holding it wrong. The charging, it lasts like 2 months, so are you really going to be charging it as often as you charge your phone? No right click. You don't need it. Seriously, I ended up turning it off because I don't use it. No scroll wheels. Trackpad is awesome. What is there to hate about this? It's a bunch of Apple's amazing technologies and Apple's amazing stuff that Apple users really like thrown into one mouse. It's got great and simple design. I'm pretty sure Johnny Ive designed this. It's got a really great trackpad. Seriously, sometimes I accidentally set it off. So it's got a very good and responsive trackpad. Sure, the charging port is dumb, but the battery life is so solid that you really don't need to charge this that often. It's really a good mouse. If you still hate it, I really do not understand you. Unless you're a PC user. You try to use this with the PC, yeah, you're not gonna enjoy it because this was not designed for it. Yeah, as long as you're a Mac user, which a lot of people have been switching to it lately, mainly because, I don't know, Intel's kind of taking a trip to the dumpster fire. Yeah, this is a really great mouse. Don't know what the problem is. Alright, thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is Alpha DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.